Curriculum by Professor Kamal Karlapalem. Professor Kamal did his MStat from ISI Kolkata, MTech from IIT Kharagpur, and PhD from Georgia Tech University. After that, he was teaching at Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, a place worth seeing, a brand new university, for about 8 years, and then he was planning to return to India and join IIT Hyderabad. He had offers from IIT Bombay, which has the internationally known group in databases at that time. And Kamal says he had a tough time deciding between IIT Bombay and an unknown institute coming up. And he chose the path less taken, and the rest is history. He has built a very fine in data warehousing, in workflow analysis, etc. Professor Kamal became the Dean of Academics at IIT Hyderabad in 2006, and he has been continuing there as both Professor of Computer Science and Dean of Academics. IIT Hyderabad had a major curriculum review in 2008, and Professor Kamal led that entire exercise in coming up with a revised curriculum in curriculum making, in education, both undergraduate education as well as postgraduate education, and we are happy that he accepted. So I will now request him to come and give his talk, and I will leave it to him. It can be made more interactive, or after the talk we can have interaction. But I suppose if you have a very question related to clarification, you can ask in the middle. If you have a question about debate and discussion, it can be left towards the end. Kamal.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here. You can ask me questions on at any time that are important and so on. So we can make it fairly interactive. So it's been a pleasure to be here in the context of a new university, old university becoming a new university, an opportunity to be a trendsetter, which comes, very seldom. So therefore, I think you are in the crossroads to do that, and it gives you both a sense of apprehension and also a sense of thrill when you go through this path. And once you set things up, the first few years will take some fine tuning, but overall it will be a great experience. So what happens is, this is a once in a decade opportunity to do a curriculum. it doesn't happen every year. Some fine tuning might happen, but the major revision happens once in a decade. So you need to have certain guidelines. So when we did our curriculum things, or when we looked at it, we thought that there should be some guidelines, some principles on which you could basically decide on how to come up with your curriculum. So the major things are that you should know what your graduating student is going to be like. So the person who, after spending 4 years, 2 years, 5 years, 6 years in various programs, when they come out, what are they? What are we sending out to the world? We need to have someone. But it doesn't, some dependency is not there, you take up that work. So you have an independent worker, you are a team player. The thrill of learning is what the university is all about. You need to really make sure that people are here for learning and they are able to learn day in and day out. The whole environment is conducive for learning. And that's extremely important. The third thing is basically the aspect of demonstrating what has been done. The 4 years may look like a very small time, but in 4 years there are snippets, there are places where a student can demonstrate to the society, to ourselves, oh, I have done this. I have contributed a lot. Okay, so you should have this notion of demonstrating. The education should not be looked at only in engineering core subjects, core things, but as a greater community, good citizenship, be able to have a social impact, sensitivity to others. All these parts becomes part and parcel of education. Sometimes what has happened is the current school education system and the current environments might have lesser emphasis on these things. Then it is up to us to work on it and make it better. So in that context, it helps. And responsibility management, that I will talk about it shortly. So I will spend some time on each of these things. So institute is like a larger family. Like when you bring up a kid in a family, or somebody has said it takes a village to educate to bring up a child, right? So it's a larger family. We are bringing up a student. The student comes in after the 11th, 12th or a BTech or whatever, and they are there for next 4-5 years. So one of the questions that I used to ask the incoming batch is, how many minutes did you think or hours did you spend before you decided to join our place? Did you spend 1 week discussing pros and cons of joining this place, how it is going to help me achieve my dreams, what is it that I want to do, or it is just a spur of the moment decision, right? So it is very important that when a student comes in, they are told that what this institute is all about, right? So each institute has very special characteristics, a niche enablers, which will make the outgoing student to contribute to the society, to the world in a different manner. Right? So what is our niche? What is this institute's niche? What is it that we can do, others can't do very well? What are our strong points that we want to convey to our students? We should have that there. If a student has graduated, what he or she should look like? You need to determine these aspects. So one of the things is take a piece of paper and write down what these things should be. Right? Now, you need to consider all aspects, the courses, the co-curricular activities, the extracurricular activities and beyond. The hostel life, the student life, the kind of sports activities you do, the outreach programs, the entrepreneurship environment, the faculty-student interaction, student-student interaction, everything. This is a whole package, it's a family. It's not just a set of courses that they are taking. So when we bring in all these aspects, then it becomes very productive, very things. Some of them are tangible, some of them are intangibles, some of it we understand but we may not put it in one particular course or something. It is sprinkled across. So the hostel wardens will do something, the faculty who are teaching will do something, the staff will do something, the student associations will do something, the various things. Everybody has a small roles that they try to enrich. And that's what we are looking at. It's a comprehensive package. Your curriculum looks as a small thing, but it has to connect to the rest of the things in the institute. So then you want to look at the aspect of student environment. One is the syllabus and how to teach. So I have to cover this. How am I going to cover these topics? I should emphasize on understanding, on learning, on various other things. Now, when a student comes in, what are their background? Are they from rural environment? Are they from urban environment? How much of other hobbies or other things that they have done? What are their learning capabilities? If I look at, till recently, the incoming batch, they are extremely good at doing multiple choice questions. You give them a derive this sum equation, they are stuck. They don't know how to address it in a very logical, methodical manner. The teachers don't take a scale and hit them on their hands if they have done a mistake in derivation, or if they have missed a therefore or a QED, right? So what is it that we can do to bring back the good habits? That's some kind of a thing. Deficiencies, they are short attention span. These students are into the realm of internet. They know what is happening. It's like the doctors, if you look at the medical doctors, their practice has completely changed in last 5-6 years. The patient will, if your doctor says you have this disease, patient immediately goes to WebMD, Wikipedia, finds out all about it and everything. And then next day he goes to the doctor and says, tell me what is ABCDEFGH that is happening. Right? So it's the same thing with us. When we teach something, they go to the rest of the world and then come back and say, tell me ABCDEFGH. So what should I teach? What should they learn by themselves? We need to decide. And that is what the balance of teaching versus self-learning. How much do I teach? How much do I ask them to learn by themselves? This part is very well given in Wikipedia. This part is given in this tutorial. You go ahead and learn those things. Now I will teach how to use that in my class. I'll tell you how I can apply it in a practical scenario. I'll tell you what are the deficiencies of that solution. Then they learn, you learn. That kind of a thing. Solving unstructured real problems. That is one of the important aspects. You say that, how do I apply this to this unstructured problem? I want to create electricity with something, or I want to design a road that has some characteristics. How do I do it? What are the design principles? How do I go about doing it? How does this soil mechanics that I have learned is going to apply in this particular scenario? What are the considerations that I should have? We should do that. So focus is on evaluating a solution, determining problems in a solution, debugging. This is the problem, I'll give you this solution, tell me what is wrong with this solution. You should be able to comprehend, okay, this solution does not take into account this assumption. This assumption that you have made is wrong. So we need to work this out. Or this material will not work in high humidity environments. So we should do something else. So how do I debug? Solutions are all very important. The important thing is, these are the best students in the country. You need to infuse them. You need to get them to work, and they will work. I mean, they will work. If you give them work, they will work. And so you have to infuse them into doing that. So the curriculum has to have these ingredients of continuous learning, of keeping them busy, giving them unstructured problems, providing teamwork, various aspects with respect to that. Right? It is on the last job that we are looking at, not the immediate job. There are training places like C, Java and so on, which will say that you do a BTech, you do this course, you get a job. Our universities are not that. Universities are to help them, to focus on understanding, deep understanding. How to learn, how to learn. How do I learn? Self-learning. How do I pick up a book, pick up some things? How do I read a product manual that is sent by some XYZ company and ask the right questions? to say that whether that product is going to solve my problem or not. Right? How do I do all these things? How do I take a new book which was not even there when I graduated and read it and understand it and see how whether it is applicable to my job? Right? How do I do this constant reading? The world has changed. These days you are a lifelong learner. You have to, there at least every 10 years you have to take up a new set of material and keep pace with the rest of the world. Things are moving very fast. So therefore, you have to tell them how to learn them. Multifaceted, unpredictable situations. There can be a problem which requires materials, metallurgy, mining, and you need to do something of that. So you need to apply a little bit of this, little bit of that, multifaceted and unstructured. You need to solve those kinds of unpredictable scenarios. You need to know how to formulate a problem. Many of the times, you give a scenario and say, what is the problem that you are trying to solve? Define me in 1 line, 2 lines, 3 sentences, what the problem is about. Then what is the theory that can be used to solve this problem? What are the skills that are needed to solve this problem? What are the solutions that I can come up with it? Half the time, if you are able to specify what the exact problem is, you have solved it. Because the solutions are mostly common sense or somebody has already looked at those. You can work on them. Right? So when you see something, you need to identify what are the core and underlying principles in this. The water is not flowing on the road. What could be the core and underlying principles that the water is not flowing on the road? Now how do I identify these problem areas? Now how do I solve them? Right? So determining those things are become very important. Once I identify that, then I can do that. So our questions, our things that we do are all like this. They get to understand, they get to think, they get to evaluate these things. Right? I have talked about unstructured problem solving and be a human being. Be a person that people can rely on. Be a person that who helps. Be a person who is caring. Be a person who maintains very good harmonious relationships with everybody else. You know, be a person who is a problem solver, not a problem creator. Right? So, how do I become this? See, we don't do all this in one course. We don't expect to do it. It is spread across 4 years. Somebody here is giving you this information, somebody is giving you this training, somebody else is doing this. Within the hostel environment, you learn something else. Within the larger city environment, you learn something else. So you are actually doing all of them. So that's the thing. And this is my one of the lists. You can decide. You can take out some points. You can add some other points. You can decide what you want to do. Right? So this is some things that we may feel that it is important. But every institute will have their own list. That what is it that we want in this kind of experiment. Right? So you have to be an independent worker. So you need to get hands dirty if necessary. I am working in deep mine. There is nobody else who knows how to repair this thing. Or the person who is trying to repair is doing wrong things. Then I have to get my hands dirty and do the right thing. Train them how to do the right thing. I have to do that. I have to get my hands dirty. If I have the skills, I know how to do it. Right? So that's the basic thing. You can train others, can learn new concepts and apply. See, the problem is fairly well understood. There are different mechanisms, different ways to solve this problem. New technology will solve it in a different manner. But the problem it is solving is the same, old problem. So I need to understand how is this new technology solving this problem. And then work on that and figure it out and see how do I best use this new technology or new solutions to solve this problem. Understand the big picture as it is there. What is my role in solving this problem? There are 10 people trying to solve this problem. What is my role? How should I responsibly do it? What are the timelines that I should maintain? What is the communication I should have with others? Right? I need to tell them that I'm a materials person and I cannot create a material which will have these kinds of properties in a short time. So therefore, I can only give you these kind of a material. So that is going to have an impact on what you want to do. So then you have to decide how I will, solve that problem. And then we both will decide and give it to constraints to some other person, and all the of us will together will solve the problem based on these constraints, the costing, budgeting, and feasibility, and so on. Ability to communicate and get consensus. These are all important. You need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to articulate your statements. You need to be able to tell them that what is possible, what is not. You are not only knowledgeable yourself, but you are also conveying it to others. Then you need to look at field of learning. So what we mean by field of learning is you impart the skills very early. Suppose a person is doing a final year project or a BTech project. They need some lab skills, they need some rudimentary skills, they need some understanding of how to use the equipment. Push it down to first and second years. Let them do that. Let them do a small project. Let them get well versed in the skills. So they play with hands, they are working, they are thinking, they are doing that. They do a small demonstrable project within the field in their third and fourth semester. So they know that this is another demonstrable thing that they are doing. They know that they have learned the skills where they are solving a small thing. They use black box approaches. They go to the market, pick up the things that are there, put them all together, show something working. They don't have to understand how each one of them works very well. But they know as a black box they can do it. And they are solving a problem. They feel enabled. They feel I can do this. I am able to build something that works. They have then 2 more years to build upon that enthusiasm, build upon that enablers, and they can do wonders. They can be, so you can connect with the department in the first year, first semester onwards. They know who their seniors are, they know what their seniors are doing, what kind of research projects are going on. They get connected, they get to see what they like, what they don't like in the department in terms of areas of specialization. They see what is happening. They become much broader within your own area. Within your own area they become broader because they are seeing transportation people working, they are seeing structural people working, they are seeing environmental people working, they are seeing town planning people working. All of them are working on different things. They get a broader outlook. They have seen projects that are happening, they are attending seminars, they are getting a feel starting from first, second semesters. They do research on projects from second semester, summer of the second year on. Small things at that level of capability. I have enabled you, I give you some work that you can do. And there is a MTech student, there is a PhD student, there is a 4th year student, there is a 3rd year student who are able to guide you at different levels. And they will help you to move along this path. So they should be get infused to do MTech and PhDs here. They say, wow, this is the place I would like to be here and do my work. I get infused to do this. That's something that we want to get. The important thing here is that teaching gets purposeful. When I am teaching in my first or second year students of my program area, I know that these are the students who are going to work on my research projects. These are the students who are going to deliver and solve this problem. These are the students who should know my sub-area very well to be able to contribute. I don't want to again train them in their 3rd year and 4th year. So my teaching becomes purposeful. They are going to give me back in terms of their understanding, in terms of their capabilities and solve problems and work together. So I am able to generate a next set of students who can contribute to my work, to my things. It has broader implications. We will talk about it shortly. So this again talks about some of the things that I have been saying, but in a slightly broader perspective. They have to demonstrate in what has been learned. You should have periodical demonstrations. They can be from exam questions which are unstructured problems, projects that they do as part of courses or separately, in-class discussions, and various other things. There are course projects that they do. The BTech projects, you can get them from real world, get them to innovate on some of the new solutions that are there. One of the interesting things that is happening is academic challenges. Almost all areas of study are having academic challenges, competitions in terms of for example, come up with a new tar substitute for roads that is very less environmentally harmful and long lasting. So there might be people who, a group of students, interdisciplinary students, who form groups and they compete, then we test it out on a patch of road for about 6 months, and then we make a study and say, yours is very good. Both theoretically and practically you have shown that your solution works. You know, put up every semester 1 or 2 or 3 academic challenges to the students and let them demonstrate. There will be a MTech student, there will be a post BTech 4th year student, BTech 3rd year student, 2 or 3 BTech 2nd year students, all working together at various levels of competency, forming a team and working on this academic challenge. And the amount of learning they will get out of it, it will last for a lifetime. You know, those are the kinds of things. Be socially aware and responsible, caring and ready to help. Not only this, in the society you should be socially caring. You should be able to help them. So before they leave the institute, give them enough opportunity to demonstrate what they have. You know, that's and what happens is there are 2 advantages of this. One advantage is for any problem area, there might be 10 or 15 different solutions that are possible. As an individual faculty member or a group, I cannot pursue all the 10 solutions at the same time. I have an army of these students. In a 2 years time frame, I can explore all these 10 solutions and figure out what works, what does not work. Then I can write a DST project or a CSIR project or any such project report and say I want to duplicate this solution in a smaller area and test it out. And then I can go into a national level deployment. So I have this multiplication effect. I can get things done in a multiplicative manner. So these are all the goals that you could have, right? And they demonstrate, they show what is happening. So one of the important aspects is that the broader view of education. It is just not, I've been talking about it a few times, is that it's everybody, the wardens, the staff of the institute, the faculty, students, seniors, families, everybody is involved, right? So however brilliant a student, there may be a 10-pointer gold medalist or fantastic student, you know, these days, if they cannot talk to their parents or spouse properly, you know, are not able to understand that relationship very well, are not able to maintain such things very well, right? Cannot understand to be sensitive to the societal needs. They dirty the place around, they don't care about the various things. They follow the rules in a different manner and they don't do, they do that. Cannot understand national and international implications of some of the things that they are doing. These people, some of the students will go ahead and be in a position of responsibility. They are the policy deciders of the tomorrow. If they can't understand the national and international implications of what they are doing, then they won't be able to serve the things. Do not care about environment. He is not righteous. He is not doing things as per the humane society that is there. Then we are doing a wrong thing. Then we are not helping the student to educate. We are giving them a training in their specialized area, right? So therefore, humanities are core of education, right? They provide the balance. They provide them to understand different aspects. They provide to agree to disagree. They provide to reach consensus. They provide to bring in the social aspects, the economic aspects, the technology aspects together in coming up with a solution. They are the people who are going to convince the farmers that this solution is viable, it works, it makes your life better in next 5 years. Right? That is what you need. You know, so they help understand the real people world. The real people world is totally different from our world. They have to understand the real people world. They have to understand what is the population characteristics of certain area. What are their daily habits? What is it that, what are the things that they do in their 24 hours that is extremely important for their livelihood? and suppose if I come up with a solution that impacts, that is very important to their livelihood, then I am not. Let us say in a area where majority of the transport is by bullock carts, and then I come and say that bullock carts are not allowed to in this place. Right? Then I have not understood what is important there. So I need to get them to understand these things. So our students should step in and solve the local and societal problems. This is something that we need to get them to do. This is something that I have been, I spoke about it, but I am going to repeat it again. They have to be trained to submit meticulous work. You know, from first year. The first maths course that they are doing, the first other courses they are doing, give them -5 if they have not written the things properly. You know, cut marks if they have not answered it properly. Train them, give them 10 assignments in the things, and 50% of the marks in all these assignments is for meticulous writing of the solutions. Train them to be meticulous. Then in your third year, you will be very happy to answer corrected question paper, answer scripts, because you know what they have written. You know, you have to train them from their first year. You say that the whole world is gone, your 11th and 12th is gone. This is a new place. If you don't do it in this manner, you don't get marks. They will listen. You know, they will listen. Time management. You need to train them on time management. Too many distractions. They have to know how to control the distractions. They have stamina. They can walk for 4-5 hours continuously, but they don't. They think I have done enough of my studies. Okay, you need to get them to change that. Their commitment to their responsibility. One of the major things that they say is, okay, I have come here, I am not interested in this institute, I am not interested in this program, I have come here to spend 4 years. You should say, please leave. If you are taking your decisions in such a rash manner that you think this is a parking place for 4 years, leave. You have come here to study. You have taken up this, be responsible. Do your homeworks, do your studies. You know, once the institute takes this such a and conveys this to the student body, they will work. They will turn around. And word of mouth will spread. They will say, if you come to this institute, be prepared to study. It will take 5 years, 6 years, but it will change the student attitude. And they will come here to study. And serious students will come because that is what they want to do. So your proportion of serious students will increase. They have to distinguish between superfluous and important. Superfluous might be high-paying job which does some routine thing. Important could be something that is very critical, you know, solving a unstructured problem that will benefit 100,000 people. You know, it may not pay that much. Harmony across and around and sensitivity to delivery. And from the institute side, you should be giving guidance. You have to care for the students, you have to listen to them. What are the problems that they are facing and how do I resolve those problems? Okay. In terms of if the assignments, if the unstructured problems they are having difficulty in solving, then I give them some additional tutorial sessions. I give them more practice exercises. I talk to them. I solve a problem in the class and explain to them. I guide them. So therefore, it is a take their inputs, define how I teach. We should be strict and understanding. Strict when students have really are taking it easy. Be very strict. Sorry, you cannot. So we don't have summer courses. If a student fails, they have to repeat the whole course. There is no make-up examinations. So you have to repeat the course. If you have failed in a course, in the next semester you have to drop a course. You cannot take overload. So you have to take that course some other time when there is a slump. So if you are strict, then they will understand. They are more serious about their studies and understanding. If by health reason then I have taken up something, then I am also allow you to overload. I take you to do that. The serious students, the good students should not get impacted. So one of the things that we should all do is to look at if I give this privilege to the student, am I being fair to a sincere student in the class who is average student who is worked hard? Am I being fair to that particular student? If I am being fair to that particular student, then I have taken the right decision. If that student who has left out, all other work and study, and you give extra time to another student to do the assignment, then that student is going to feel very bad. So you have to be there. So the fundamental is genuineness across the campus. We are genuine people. There is everything that we look at it seriously. Determined to understand the core problem. The purpose of the institute should be fixed. This is a learning environment. You have to work hard. There are no easy way outs. We will help you to learn. We will help you to guide. But you have to do your work. Anything that I do should not impact the purpose of the institute. Solutions will come if problem is well understood. And the human values, the human entities, they all help in reducing the friction, helping them to understand why we are saying so. They see our point of view, we see their point of view. The students and everybody works as a family and works it out. So these are all very important for that. So this is the guidelines kind of a thing that I prepared, in the sense that under what, if you were to look at a new way of new curriculum and want to work on it, what should I be looking at as a bigger picture? Okay. Then any questions, comments, anything on this before I move to the next subtopic? So the next subtopic that I talk about is the curriculum. That is, how is all this that we have spoken about, the big ideas, the big things, what will I do in terms of the curriculum? So the curriculum has to be broad. It will involve mathematics, it will involve science, it will involve engineering, it will involve humanities, it will involve engineering systems. It will be broad. Okay. There will be notion of course things, that is prerequisites and a course, and then it is a prerequisite for another course. There is a theme. So there is a heat transfer theme that is going for something else. There is a transportation theme that is going. There is a algorithms or theory theme in computer science that is going. So you have themes that go. You have to identify. Practice, theory, practice. You first do. Find out what works, what does not work. Then you do theory, where you understand why something is working, why something is not working. Then you do practice, where you say that this new problem I am going to solve it. Because there is no theory for it, there is no proper practice for it. Facilitate research and innovation. Our greatest strength is our, I should say, post-10 students. But we can't take post-10 students, so post-12 student is our greatest strength. And they are the ones that we want to, they are the brightest in the country. They come here, put them in problem solving. Let them help you to do research. Let them form groups. Let them work together. Flexibility. I know that I have to do these many courses. I'll decide when I want to take those courses. You don't decide it. I'll decide it because I'll take all the courses that are required to do my project, to do my research, to do my things early. And some of the things which are not immediately required, I'll take it later. I will decide that. You tell me what I should do in my 4 years. And projects and independent study. So it is broad is in terms of mathematics, sciences, humanities, larger engineering systems. I want to know how the sewage treatment plants, 5 sewage treatment plants in the city work together. How should the garbage be sent to all of these? How should various other things work? What is the role of IT? What is the role of electronic control systems? What is the role of chemical engineering in it? What is the role of materials in this? What is the role of transportation in this? What is the role of civil in this? The bigger picture. Okay. Then you have your own program courses, mechanical engineering courses, the metallurgy courses, and so on. Then you have your other sister department courses which are relevant to this. They are neighboring department courses that you take, right? Then you have open electives, at least 2 or 3 slots where I can take any course in the institute for which I have the prerequisites. I should be able to take that. I want to take a philosophy course, or I want to take a number theory course, or I want to take a macroeconomics course. I will take that. So these are all different kinds of training, all important. Mathematics will train one part of your brain, science will train another part, large engineering systems another part, humanities another part. You become a global person, you become a well-rounded person. So, right? So there are traditional course sequences, that is prerequisite courses. There are this chain of courses. So you need to look at them in totality. So here I have a couple of examples. So if I look at probability and random processes, signals and systems, DSP, communication theory, and say EC lab, this whole thing I can think of it as a theme or a body of knowledge that the student should have, a electronics engineering student should have. Then I will say some of these I will cover in my first semester. These two things maybe I will combine it and cover it in my second semester. Okay, this one I will combine it and do it in some other thing. But I will provide it in different snippets, different parts, and I will relate it with other things. Similarly, we have discrete maths, computer programming, data structures, algorithms, and formal methods. This is a big sequence. Take the totality of knowledge, break it up into courses that will help you to decide on when which part is required. Similarly, we had this IT Workshop 1 skills course, IT Workshop 2 skills course, the project, and then the databases all coming together by third semester, and they do a demonstrable project. They are ready to join TCS, and deliver. So similarly, humanity skills, human values, humanities will form one team. Science 1, Science 2 will form another team, followed by some other courses. So these are the themes that you should prepare, and then you should say, how do I chunk these themes into courses? The good thing that happens when we do this is, you can decide, okay, now it is next generation curriculum. These subtopics which we used to cover earlier, they can pick it up on their own. These subtopics we need to teach. These subtopics are practical exercises that they will do. This is the new things that we need to bring in. So you can decide what is important, what is not important. What is to be conveyed, what they can do. Self-learning versus teaching. You can make that kind of delineation. Each department, each team can look at it. And in all the programs, there are such chains, there are such themes which are there. And then you can take those themes and then re-look at them and say, what is new about this? What can I change? So for example, in materials, I may want to bring in some nano-related stuff very early into one. If I make it very small, how do some properties change? Just to infuse them, just to bring them out into thinking differently. Another thing that we do is, the faculty will form research areas or groups. They will say, we are all working in thermodynamics related to something. We are all working on transportation. We are all working on structural engineering aspects of large buildings, tall buildings. Right? So now when I do that, I will have a set of courses that they should take before they can do research in that area, before they can contribute to some projects in that area. So when there is a research group, they will have a supporting courses that they have to take. So you form a stream. So you say you want to work in this research group, take this course in 5th semester, take this course also in 5th semester, in 6th semester you take this course, you are ready to work with us. While you are taking these courses, do project with us. Right? And then they are there for you for 2 years. So whatever you are teaching, it helps them for 2 years. Right? Students can do BTech honors in a stream. That is, they take 2 additional projects, they do a BTech project and 3 courses in the stream area. These are among the electives that they have, that they should take in their program, and they get a honors degree. Right? The streams can change over time. They can become more narrower or much broader as the faculty joins and so on. Right? You are funneling the students to research, to problem solving, to projects. So the student after second year knows what to look for, what to do in this kind of environment. So it helps faculty to do large projects, and you form critical mass of researchers. So under each stream, you will have 10 students, 15 students, 20 students, second year, third year, fourth year, M.Tech, maybe 1 or 2 PhDs, maybe a postdoc. They are all forming a group and working on various things. You can bid for bigger projects, you can deliver things, because there is a chain of thing that is happening. So all this becomes a win-win for you all. And faculty is also extremely happy because they are able to take their ideas and move them forward. They are able to work, they are able to see the output of their research. They are able to connect to the societal problems. So overall, the enthusiasm of the place is there. So we also talk about impart students learning, project in third and fourth semesters. After it comes, mid-level core courses come, the stream electives will come, and then they do a project, integration project in 6th and 7th semester. That is the B.Tech project, which is starts from 6th and ends in 7th. The good idea about B.Tech project is, in the 8th semester, it's a handover to the next batch of students. If I have done something, I can productionize that, I can start an incubation, I can start a company. If I have a research paper to be written, I can write a research paper, I can do a little bit more. And if I am over-infused, I become a M.Tech or MS by research student. And then continue and do that. So I get that thing. They are supported by students' courses in other areas. So the sister department courses, the other department courses can support this. So I can say 2 of my stream courses come from material science, 1 course comes from chemical engineering for my research stream. And you need to take 1 of these courses to do research in this area. So it can be a group kind of a thing. So you need to facilitate research and innovation, introduce and sustain unstructured problems. They are here, you say, for learning and to solve problems, right? So then they do independent studies, right? There is substantial project work in each course, independent studies. So what happens is there might be a student who says, I want to understand about physics of nanocarbon tubes, right? There is no course on physics of nanocarbon tubes in our thing. So what you say, you take an independent study, here are a set of papers, you read and you present it to me, right? And that student will do that. They say independent study. I can do a similarly independent projects or to learn the practical aspects of certain things. Open electives to take courses in other areas, and I can also overload. I may say that I want to take 1 extra course in chemical engineering, because that is very relevant to my work. A sincere student wanting to do some research, and they can allow them to audit a course, sit in another class to learn the basic principles and how they apply to their research or to the problem that they are solving. All these things are possible, right? So one of the basic issues is that people think B.Tech is a 4-year program, B.Tech plus M.Tech is a 5-year program, M.Tech is a 2-year program, and so on. This is a good time to educate all the students and their parents and the society that you collect this many credits, you will get your degree. It's like reward points of a credit card. You get this many reward points, you get this thing. This many reward points, you get something else. Things like that. You collect this many credits and clear the institute graduation requirements, we will give you the degree. We have a maximum time of 6 years, 7 years, or whatever else. You decide how you want to do. Encourage them to take a semester off. Go somewhere, do work in some place, travel around the world, go to your hometown and solve a societal problem. You do whatever you want, you come back, you are much more enriched. You change the hostel environment. You change the talking to other people. So you say that you finish this part, you will give you the degree. The parents will be, and then they will get. So there may be some practical issues with that. The banks, they might have given them loans. So you need to educate the banks to say that, okay, don't charge interest or do something. There may be at least one bank which will come up and say, we will do that because you are IIT and we can support these kinds of things as long as they finish their things. So there may be 1 or 2 issues, but in general it will be possible to do it, right? Postpone some of the core courses to later years, take early,
take research supporting courses. Faculty guidance and streams help them to funnel things, right? Substitute 1-2 courses by projects. So what I will do is that this is the broader picture of curriculum. I'll just briefly explain how it was done in 2008. So what we did was we said what is our basis for our curriculum, the guidelines or something. Ensure breadth not only in programs but also engineering, sciences, math and humanities. We were predominantly an information technology institute. So students would come and say, I do only IT, only programming and nothing else. Why are you teaching me sciences? Why are you teaching me humanities? Why are you teaching me all these things? These are not relevant. A computer science student says, why are you teaching me basic electronic circuits? I don't need to know basic electronic circuits. I don't need to know signals and systems. But we were steadfast. We said, this is a broad. We are teaching you for your life. It's not for just getting a degree, right? Facilitate. We are a institute which is a research university. So around half of our students are involved in research. There are at any point of time about 300 masters or PhDs theses getting written in this institute, right? So our whole curriculum is trained towards doing research. Provide avenues for program students to pursue in IT for X area. So what we say is, I can be a mechanical engineering student, but I spend 1 more year and get MTech in chemical engineering. Because the problem that I want to solve is in chemical engineering domain. So my curriculum should allow me to do that. Because I can cross-fertilize these things. So Institute Core, which defines what the output of the student is, defines the graduating student is spread over 4 years. Talk about practice, theory, practice. There are Institute Cores, 8 Institute Core and others that provide the breadth to the students. Research emphasis in everything. Courses, projects, independent studies, thesis, everything. Right? All this research emphasis is in everything. So we said our graduating students should be competent, should know what, why and how of concepts. Thermodynamics or third law of something. What, why, how it can be used. Why does it work, what it is. Creative. What we say is, we want people who will change the world. They come up with an idea that will change the world. That they have the vision to change the world. It's like Apple iPhone. Our students should be able to come up with disruptive technologies, disruptive solutions which will change the world and make life easy for humanity. That is what we mean by creative. And caring. There should be a larger insight into issues of life, coexistence with humans and nature, nurturing the planet, and so on. So we have Institute Core, the program core, flexibility in taking courses, choice in core courses, electives for breadth or stream, electives across the programs. So I'll just talk about a little bit on this. So these were the streams. So in the first 2 years, this is what they undergo. They do engineering systems, they do digital signal analysis and applications, which is like signal systems with MATLAB, or more on the computer side, not into too much on filtering, but how to, as a black box approach. You know, they do a lot of projects in this, and each one is a team, and then they cover all of them together, and then there is a humanities team, and this is what they do up to their 4 semesters. And they had already done their project in their 3rd semester. Then they do. So one thing that we have realized is that in many programs, what happens is, you say that they should know A, they should know B, they should know D, they should know all of them. And if you have courses in all of them, you don't have any electives left. You don't have many other things left. So what fundamentally we did was, we said that some little bit of, so databases for example, can be divided into 2 parts. The basic databases, how to use a database, can be a 2 credit course. The remaining part is how to implement or build a database management system is another course. So we make these courses into, instead of 4 courses, 4 credits, we make it 6 credits. The essential that everybody wants, the 2 credits is pushed down, the 4 credits is pushed down. So then those 4 credits, if there are 10 such 4 credit courses, you say take only 6 of them. The remaining you have the basic knowledge, rest of it you can pick it up on your own if required. But for at least 6 of them you need to take. This we could do in electronics, this we could do in computer science. So that is what these bouquet core courses are. Not everybody needs to do computation theory or POPL or numerical techniques or optimization. Among all of these, you take 3. Among all of these, you take 3. I don't want to do software engineering. It's okay. I've done the basics of software engineering in my SSAD course. I know how to do that. Then you have the stream, which is actually these are all research centers and the courses in that. And then you can get into natural sciences. So we teach sciences, we teach humanities, we teach all that in early, so that a student can go and do some research projects in those areas if they are interested. Then we also emphasize, since a research student, we allow students to become honor students after 4th semester. They can become a dual degree student after 4th semester. They can say, I'm going to stay next extra year and get both BTech in computer science and MS by research in computer science, right? And join 5th PhD program after 10th semester if they want, and continue to do that, right? He's an honored student who takes 2 additional projects, 2 additional courses, does a MS thesis. So we have this pipeline. That is, you start in something, and if you are very enthused, you can go to the next degree. If you are very enthused, you go to the next degree, and then you can move forward. Right? So the summary of the case study is that research-driven curriculum, flexible enough for individual student and stream requirements, broad program base, right? Sufficient depth for research, broad institute core and electives in math, sciences, engineering, solid humanities for them to become better citizens and work on. So finally, I want to say that the institute should have a message for the students. This is the kind of a message I typically give to my students. You are among the best, be responsible. Right? You worked hard to come here, no doubt. You couldn't have come in without hard work. Right? But realize you worked hard to work harder. You have been trained to work hard, continue. Right? The harder you work, the easier it gets. You can change the world and do it. There should be a standard message that goes to all the students. This is what this institute is all for. This is what you are here for. This is what we are here for. We are a research institute. This is what happens here. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. Go to a, so that's one thing that I tell. If you are so brilliant, you go to any other college, you will still get a Microsoft job or you will get some job. Okay, why come here and take a place of a sincere student? Who could have contributed much better to our institute and the world than you are. We should have a strict principle that is across the institute and convey to it. And curriculum will ensure that this is followed. Anything that belittles or reduces this emphasis of the institute, we should be very careful in changing. We should be extremely careful in changing. Otherwise things will get bad. Okay. So this is all that I wanted to say, and I will take any questions or concerns that you may have.
We'll open it up for questions. There is a step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Are you following all of them? Are you documenting it in a very nice manner? Training them and ensuring them that if you have not done something, then you are missing out something. This check is there because of this. That comes in every engineering. You can't build a bridge, without going through all these processes. They have to understand that, and we penalize them if they don't do that in that way. So that's where the theory comes in, that's where the whole things come into place. Even in the class, when I give them an unstructured problem, they have to do it in a step-by-step manner.
they don't do it, they don't get the marks. Meticulousness, the principal approach are important. You can't do away with it. If 50% of the weightage should be there. See, it is easier for me to tell a student, you didn't understand this concept, if they write it down. The wrong answer. If they just jump and do that, I don't know what they have understood, what they have not understood. Where did they go wrong? Right? So I would say that, and our theory courses will provide those things. Yes.
Right. A very rational approach that you have talked about. And you said in the beginning itself that we are going to be getting our students integrated in the first year itself, the branch. I think all of us are more tuned to about the branch change aspect that comes. I think it would be nice if something can be talked about that, how to do that in this case.
Yeah, so that's the basic issue. That's why I said the principle of the integrated. So you say that these are my graduation requirements. You join mechanical engineering, you move to metallurgical engineering. You have to take this many credits, of which this many are core courses, this many are these courses, this many are these courses. If you have taken some mechanical engineering courses, maybe we'll give you some discount of certain credits because you have covered some topics of that. You finish these requirements, you will graduate. Whenever you finish, you will graduate. So you go through the branch change as per the rules. But finally you want to graduate to finish these requirements. That once you bring in that change, many of the things become simpler.
I was teaching chemistry courses, one of the courses, and I find that the students are prepared, more students are there for MBA. That also when you go to IIM, the motivation they got from the society of home, that prepare for that will be this. Then how can we motivate them to do other courses?
By being strict, throw them out of the classroom, don't give them attendance, penalize them for 3 weeks of attendance. Tell them that you have to repeat the course. Unless the institute has that resolve, to penalize those students who are not only doing wrong, but they are encouraging other students to do wrong. They are training the juniors to do wrong. Be very strict with them. There is no other choice. Educate the student body, educate the student parliament. This is not that kind of an institute. You cannot have that in our thing. And this is what the faculty are going to be doing. We empower the faculty to do this. And stick to that. Things will change. They'll spend their summer and prepare for MBA if they want. What responsibility management is all about. I am in this class because I want to learn, not to prepare for something else. If I am irresponsible in the class, I don't get the credits. As simple as that. And that's where the resolve of the institute is. Slowly other students will tell, oh, don't do this, yahan pe nahi chalega. And that's a good thing because it makes your life easier. You are teaching better. Your outgoing students are better ambassadors of this institute. A lot more companies will come for their placements. Other institutions will learn how to do this from you. Right? You can be a torch bearer. The strictness is extremely critical. Otherwise it will die you.
Well, interest, why we are not recognizing that point in our academic policy? For example, IIT is a higher degree compared to BTech, and it is a fact always a person chooses IIT after all the BTech seats for the same branch are exhausted. Even for grant selection also, it is very much market driven. Nobody goes for any enthusiasm or any few exceptions may be there. Why we are not able to recognize this fact which is happening over a long period of time?
Let's say there are two parts to this. That's why I asked them if they are coming to my institute, why are they coming? Okay. I also give them positive examples and negative examples. Let us take a career of a civil engineer. As little bit that I know. You start off with a construction job paying you very little. After 2 years, you learn the skills, you become slightly bigger. After 5 years, when you are getting married, you get a good salary. After 15 years, when your kids are in their 12th and so on, and they are higher education, you are in a better position. You get even more higher salary. Once you are at a retirement age or after that marriages and all that, you get even bigger salary and then you can retire comfortably. IT is totally upside down. When you join, you get a big salary. Anytime after 10 years, you do not have a job. Okay, and just when your kids are getting, are in their colleges and all that, you have a tension, will I have a job, will I won't have a job? Right? If my job goes, who is going to pay for all these things that I have done? And by that time you are used to all the various expensive things that are there in the world and you have a miserable life. So you should educate them that you have to see between superfluous and important. You are other day one of my nephews asked me, I want to do an MBA. I asked him, why do you want to do an MBA? Oh, I can go around the world and do various things and all that. He is a mechanical engineering, he joined Vizag Steel Plant. I told him, you learn by work in Vizag Steel Plant. There are many multinational steel companies that are there. After 5 to 10 years of experience, you go and join one of them, they will send you all over the world. And you are working in your thing, you become very good. If you want to, you have to do people management there. You are interested in people management? No. You are interested in finance management? No. You are interested in sales? I don't know. Right? And you like mechanical? I like mechanical. No, you get what is important to you, what is it that you like. If you really want management, do management. I am not going to stop you from doing that. But don't go with superfluous. Yes. You know, India is at the golden age time period for manufacturing. The government is going to put few lakhs, crores of rupees in manufacturing in next 10 to 15 years starting. Manufacturing is going to double up. These people who are going to manage plants, who are going to productize some things, who are going to run things, will be in great demand. They will be the kings or queens in future. You know, it's a part of the institute to say how the world is changing, how India is changing. Get somebody from planning commission to come and give a talk on how many things we are exporting and not manufacturing in the country.
National Manufacturing Competence Council also has been set up for this.
Exactly, yeah. And change their mindset. That is, you have 4 years to change their mindset. Start them to look at things differently. Sensitize them. Why are you doing this? Ask them tough questions. Are you really interested in doing this? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? All these things are part and parcel of that. Humanities plays a good role in doing this. So it's a complete package. It's not this. No, if somebody is in mechanical engineering is extremely interested and competent in computer science, let them go. They will work on robotics. They will work on something which is computational fluid dynamics. Come up with a new way of solving set of equations that will help me to design next generation aircraft engines. Right? Let them do that. There is a lot of computation that is involved.
Sir, I have confusion. Superfluous versus important, and research versus innovation. Innovation, if you look from, there are some things that are superfluous, and we must concentrate on the important aspects. If you look at innovation generally are accidental or require grounding. And leaving that innovation in research and academics and involving our students, so how it becomes superfluous.
Right. I'm glad this is an excellent question. The issue that I find many times is, many times we try to look at the perfect solution. The students especially, they want to optimize everything and get a perfect solution. And they get disappointed. So there are a good number of students third year. And they get disappointed that they don't go anywhere in that. Now, that said aside, the thing that I say is, start with a solution that it can be the least economical solution, really very poor solution. Start with that and show that it works. Now you innovate on that. Take some part of it and say which is the most troublesome or which can be made better. And then that's a small innovation that you are making. So innovation is with respect to technology and day-to-day solutions. Now research is I am solving a problem. Again, for a research problem I can apply a brute force technique, or I can do something which will not solve the problem very nicely. Then I say which parts of the problem I am not able to solve nicely. And then I go into the important aspects, pick up the theory, pick up the other aspects, build myself to learn about how to solve it and then solve it. So research is more like academic research with provable solution that is long term. Innovation is more like pragmatic social problems that I am solving in a society and we using technology. In both the cases, you can have levels. You start with something small and you have 2 more years to build up on it. Doing easy things is easy. Modifying them to do better things requires some research, some innovation and skills.
Said, passing on the baton in a sense, you are saying that PhD, MTech as well as students of final year, third year, first year, second year, whatever it is, they are combining. So it's quite possible that doing the research ultimately might be leading to the innovation aspect as well. That's another point.
Of course. One thing that I didn't mention is 2 things that I didn't mention. One is peer learning. Once you have a second year, third year, fourth year, take PhD students in one lab, they learn. Second thing is institute, typically in the second semester, where first years onwards will see, make it mandatory for the first years to look at it. And you have around 19-15 departments. A chemical engineering person will go and see electronics projects. A mechanical engineering person will see metallurgy projects. They will learn. Faculty will see, they learn. Oh, you are also working in thermodynamics. I am also working in thermodynamics. I didn't know that we both can collaborate on this aspect. Right? You are solving this problem. You know what? This particular problem I have a better solution. 2 years back I did something. Maybe you should look at that. Right? Things will happen. They get enthused. And you know, students ask other students lot tougher questions than an examination pattern. They'll ask simple but tough questions. ऐसा क्यों किया? You know, why did you do this? No, you have to answer that. There is no other way out. He'll think, oh, okay, sir ने बता दिया, you did it. You know, what did you do? Why do you think this works? Right? You know, they'll make you to think. They'll point out things.
Professor Kamal, you have a very personalized type of relationship between the students and the teachers. More of like a Gurukul type of a system. Now here in my class there are 130 students and I don't even know the names of most of them because if I even start taking the attendance, it takes 10 minutes for me to even complete the attendance. So yesterday a student came to me and said that I want a recommendation during summer to go to ISC Bangalore, please recommend my name. Now I asked, do you study in my class? He said, yes, I am one of your students. Because I am not able to recognize his face in the 130 students that sit in my class. I said, I am sorry, I cannot recommend you because I don't know about you. I will see your grades and then decide whether I should recommend you or not. So when there are 130 students and they are coming to me at the end of the third year for a particular course which I teach and which is my area of research, there is very little scope for me to judge the students at that stage and then be more interactive with them because the group is so large. So how do you work in such situations where the number of students with whom you are dealing, that is very large?
That's a good question in the sense that that's where the research streams and all that become very important. So once they form a research group, then they are in that umbrella. So then you know you are talking to those kinds of students. So each student will have some faculty or some research group that they are attached to or some stream that they are attached to. That is point 1. Point 2 is in the first year, we also group students into batches of 20 and there is a faculty mentor who works with them throughout the semester. And they will be talking to them once or twice a week. And that provides them at least one faculty member who knows little bit about their student. The third aspect is of the class interactions. So have a seminar, get students to sit in the seminars, have an open door policy, they can come and ask. One of the things that in India, which we tried but did not work very well, but it's no harm in trying again and again and again, is office hours. Say that in my course, during on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 5:30, you can come and talk to me on anything related to the course that I have taught. So that provides an interaction with the student and me. I get to know my students. Informal feedback. I catch hold of one or two students and say, how is the course going on? What is it that you are learning? What are you not learning? Things like that. It is, the numbers is a difficulty. We do have very large classes. We teach courses where there are about 200 students in a course. That happens. But we have other things that also happen. Wherein there are faculty, there are people that who are connected. But this research streams is a very good enabler to know your students. After second year, if they are in a research stream, they are working in a lab, there are people who know it. They come to you, they'll say, I have done this, what next should I do? I have done this step that you have told me, next. And that's what.
Professor Kamal, I am very much convincing with you. This is the interpolation of the PG orientation up to the undergraduate level. Basically, undergraduate level is basically based to give the concept and strengthen the concept of the subject to the student. Basically, when the student comes into the fourth year or third year, he is governed by the recruitment section, means campus interview and the job orientation. Very few students of the IIT are interested to do their PG and PhD. If I will get some students, that will be a very good opportunity for me because they are the trained students. My question is this, if the student is governed by the potential of the market, maximum 90%, 95%, then why we are giving the stress to them up to first year or second year? First we have to strengthen them with their own concepts of the research, not with the problems. When he or she will come in third year or fourth year, then we can assign them projects, then that will be give a good fruit of our research, of our thought. I think in this way, sir, please verify it.
Okay.
We tried this. We say that, a fresh post-12 student comes and says, my father works in a cement factory. There's a lot of pollution that comes up. The heat that is generated from that is causing a lot of environmental damage. I want to do something. I want to design a chemical process for cement, which is going to radicalize this. So I tell that student, you do your physics, chemistry, maths in first semester, you do this. But then to do this, you should learn thermodynamics of, related to cement. Then in that course, you need to learn about, something about pressures and various other things. In some other course, you need to learn about materials that are needed to form this. Then if the student comes and tells you, when do I learn these courses? Oh, this course is in third year first semester. This course in third year second semester. This course is in fourth year first semester. Then he says, I can't do anything here. His whole enthusiasm is gone in the first week itself. But suppose if you tell them, I'm glad you asked this. You are in chemical engineering. In the first semester, at the end of the third semester, you are going to do a project. In that project, you are going to use a black box approach. You can create a small simulation or a small system and measure the temperatures, and you can see what is going to happen. And here are some, in the summer of the second year, you can look at the latest research that is happening and pick up some one or two techniques from there and understand them. We will guide you. In the third year and fourth year, you can do a BTP or a project where you can test your ideas. Okay, and if you are really wanting to do that, you can continue and do your MTech and PhD year, and then you can patent this, and you can, start your own, join your father's company and change their mechanism. They will be a lot more enthused. They will learn with a purpose. The faculty will have a problem to solve that is real world. The whole institute will back them up. After their 4th year, they will write a major research project to not only cement but also to other materials. Then some of them will get a major award from cement industry. They then will export their technology to other African countries and other developed countries. We bring in a revenue stream to the country. We should dream big. Once you dream big, one of the things that we do is we tend to little bit underestimate our incoming batch. But what we don't realize is these are the top 0.1% of the students in the country. There are 12 lakh students who are doing 12. Of this, 1,000 students are coming here. These are the best representative sample of students in there. Yes, 9 to 12, they have been way late. But their inherent capabilities, the analytical capabilities, the willingness to learn, doing the hard work, all the good skills that a good researcher should have, they already have them. I just need to tune them. I need to get them to focus. I need to allow them to get away from distractions. I need to make them solve bigger problems. Once I do that, things will change. Then we talk to each other. This is my purpose of my university. Purpose of my university is to generate these students. If you are not aligned to my purpose, go, there are 101 other colleges there. They will get you a job. They will get you a TCS job. They will get you a whatever job you want. Go there. Why are you wasting a good student's seat here? We are not here for that. So we have to enable students that they feel lot more than overconfident to do this. And in 1-2 years, if you are able to do that and attach them to the research streams, automatically things will happen. Every year about 60 odd undergraduate students go to various conferences all over the world to present papers by themselves. We will achieve that. They write research journal papers that are published in very good journals. By the time they graduate, some of their papers have been cited by some of the other people who are leading authorities in this area. If that is the achievement that we hope they can do it, they will do it. 5%, 10%, 15%, that's good enough. I have 1,000 students, 150 leaders coming out of this place. They will change the country. I think it is the curriculum plays and the institute purpose plays a much bigger role, in doing it. And students will agree. I mean, if you talk to them, they will agree, yes, this is what I have to do. It's the 3rd year and 4th year students who basically mislead the incoming batch. Only 4th year. I am corrected. Only 4th year. That's what you should train them. Talk to the student parliament. Talk to the people. Say that this is what is the thing. Yes, this. No, what I am saying is demonstrate their learning in their first 2 years by a project, by 3rd or 4th semester. Small project. They have to demonstrate that learning. And then they do another BTech project where they demonstrate the learning they have done with the 2nd level core courses that they have done. And then they can be part of the things. See, if they are able to demonstrate, then they are able to do that in their work. They also become more confident. They are more attached to the domain. And some of them, many of them will go and do research elsewhere or here.
They are very wonderful and nice actually, and we all wish to adopt and implement in our institute. But don't you think that to adopt and implement all these ideas and the things, there should be some critical mass of the faculties in the department so that that can be implemented appropriately and justified way to the students and to the institution. But also, if you think it is there should be some critical mass of the teachers in the department, what do you think that what should be the minimum load of the teacher to implement all these innovative ideas, research, and all these things to think of and to implement.
Student-teacher ratio.
Oh, yeah. I won't go into student-teachers ratio per se, but I'll give you some things. I have a faculty member, head faculty member who joins. He says that, okay, I am in robotics. I want space. I'm getting research funding. I am going to train my students. I have 2 courses. I teach those 2 courses as my stream electives. I allow that. I support that faculty member, and I look for other people to join me. I'll hire people. Even if there is one faculty in an area to start off with, I support that faculty. You are a stream. You are in a good stream. This is very important to the country. Start working. Start doing things, and then we'll hire more people. We'll hire a postdoc. We'll hire a PhD student to help you. We will have teaching assistants who will help you in your teaching courses. You know, we will slowly build. In 5-6 years, we will have a good group. If we wait for the group to be initially formed, sometimes it will happen. You may get lucky and there are 3 people in fluid dynamics. And then you already have a good teacher stream there. But there is only one person in communications. Let them start their own thing. And we'll have people. Let them do things. So the faculty will themselves decide. See, the beauty of this is, I want my 3rd year and 4th year students to be working with me on a research project. So I know what courses they should have gone, what training they should have got to work with me. I provide that training by that time, or in the 3rd year, and they are working with me. So it is self-interest of the faculty members to do this, because they will get students, they will get other things. Right? They are able to do their research, they are able to solve the problems. It is self-helping. Right? So therefore it can be one person.
If we just look at the journey of this institution, when I joined in IITs, I was told that in the very early years of this institution, it was heavily lopsided towards practice. It was a practice-oriented institution, really is. And that is why if you go to city, you will find many buildings where you will find PhD in city. It had its own power plant. It used to supply power to the city. We have been talking to students of other institutes, what I am finding that it can be a very, very difficult challenge. I'm very sure that you might have faced this challenge in this institution. To relate the students to be properly oriented in terms of learning. But there is situation to speak, understanding is figured out at a good time, being a good professional, and all these things are given by types of jobs that are doing. What do you think are going to be challenges in terms of making the students understand that their branch is good when they come to first year? Right? You explain this idea that your institution is basically an information technology. Our institution technology is a field of right knowledge, knowledge of biology, all these things got together and became a student technology. If this is a challenge, how to educate and how to make our students understand the very first thing is that their discipline is more interesting. You should have some idea that can happen to them.
So I start with the branch in the first year section. They should, this was the example I take. If you go to a grocery store, from the start to the exit, you go through all the corridors, you know, and near the exit you find all chocolates, right? So that your kids will just take them, right? So you should have at least one class of the student in your department. Send them through all the labs or faculty offices. Outside the faculty offices, there are some things, demos or some posters or some such things that is interesting that is working. When they are get them connected with the having student club related to your branch. Let them have activities. Let them have a department day where they come and give presentations. Let the first year see, talk to them. have a send out emails like our third year student has done this innovative project and has made this successful, or our group of students are going to BARC work on this wonderful project, which very few people can get to do. Right? Give them those kinds of inputs and get them to be seeing the faculty members doing work and doing things. Put them in labs. There is a common lab where there is some teaching is going on. Some PhD students are doing some research on couple of instruments. They are doing their training, their skills training, and PhD students are working on the recent problem. They'll ask, what are you doing? Why is it important? They learn from that. They get to see that. You know, student to student communication and learning enhances a lot of things.
What we have seen is motivates a few students, right? Not all of them. So what happens is there are students who don't get engaged in learning English words, but some of them will start learning from something you don't ask them. They know that they are going to learn what is the I was if there can be some other structural issues thereby senior teachers or go to first stage students interact more with them. There can be some other structural issues.
Yeah, one course. So overview of mechanical engineering, first semester course. You know, yes. The another thing that we do is we are a smaller institute, but we talk to all the parents on the first day of the year. We convey our philosophy to the parents. Okay, parents, teaching parents is one part of our work. If I am a, you should say, if I am in a mechanical engineering department, I would send to the parents every 6 months one note saying that what wonderful things are happening in my department. What kind of projects are happening, what kind of things are happening, where my students are working, you know, what my alumni has done after 10 years. I will send those notes to my parents, to the parents of the kids. You know, make them learn about this business, come up with this.
There is another question that relates to understanding related to appreciation of practical problems and discrimination from point practical to secondary levels. What normally happens in this institution like ours is a complete place running from industry to level. There are very few industries that are available in India. So if somebody finds an academic member, they have to show that for 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years. They have not had any opportunity of interacting with the university. So they will actually have a testing in the university. They are knowing about the society and the problems and the development of society. Such a proper mechanism. Hereby, the faculty members of an institution are required to spend some time in the university, are required to spend some time in society. That identify the problem that needs to be done. You have to respond to the mechanism of the case and get on that. If not, there is a statement that we have to do.
Yeah. So there is a Dean R&D, okay, who basically keeps track of what the faculty are doing and also the industry investor. And they do matching. You know, saying that this problem requires something from you or free of. Second thing is we keep summer schools. Most of the faculty are in the university. They can go and work with their own exposure examples and they take them back. Okay. And third, send your students. Let them do a project with the industry and do visit twice, they are there for 6 months. They take a semester off and do it. You know, and you go and meet them on the site.
Last question also. Normally, it's a rule for assisting the research contribution to the curriculum. As I said in the beginning, it's slightly easier than going to the project and taking the research system out of that. There are some formal principles that we can take to resolve for making assessment
if a faculty member has genuinely worked on large number of industry projects, has made a contribution there. We don't see, not everything can be quantified. The genuinity cannot be quantified, but it can be understood. There are people who are saying, when I walk around and go to some place in Delhi or Mumbai, you know that faculty member that you have, he really solved this wonderful problem that we had. That's, but even his understanding. That is fine. No, see, yes and no. Yes and no. In the sense that, suppose I as a person who has gone to 5 industries and says that I have tried these problems and I have failed. I have a written write-up on that, why they failed, what understanding that I have, and I have written a book, the 5 things that they got. And then people are looking at that, they are not following that. That's good enough for them. You know, there was a question here.
That's on the mic.
very nicely summarized the whole thing, and yes, it is doable from start to end. But one thing that we should do it in a very adamant way. We remove the emphasis on placement across the whole institute. We say if you are doing well. So we have got students who spent 4 semesters building something, and a company came and put them up because they know that very well. So we say that if you are excellent in one aspect, I know thermodynamics very well. There is a company XYZ in the world that requires that knowledge. You don't have to worry about your job. So once you become excellent in doing something, you understand that aspect, you are putting the hours, there is a company that will do. Jobs are not the important. Your staff itself is a good job for you. It will get you a job. You don't have to run around, let people come and pick you up. Over a period of time, that's what will happen. Initially they take time to get things set. We have to be resolute, we have to be tough at that time. But after a while, it will, work very well. Because emphasizing the placements or giving a lot of emphasis like providing. So in our institute, the third year students will say, we want MBA classes to be held in our training class. We say, sorry, we don't do that. They say that we want to prepare for placements. We say, yes, we can prepare for placements 8:30 to 10:30 in the evening in this hall where the student will teach for a certain time. Okay, we don't allow anything more, and that too only for 2 months if you want. Okay, we put restrictions so that that is not emphasized.
Yes, sir. Just brief. So our institute name is new, but institute is not new. So we have a long experiment system in terms of post curriculum, research curriculum, all this. Now, do you feel that the existing system should be changed according to that of use of IITBHU in Hyderabad, which is primarily designed for a research university? So, if yes, then why?
No. So the role of a complete human being, somebody who understands everything, he is competent, he knows the things, then I know what I need to do. If my role of the institute is to be a research university, then I know undergraduates are my major strength. I need to get them to do research. Again, I know what to do. So it is what is it that we want this institute to do as a whole body, and then rest of the things will follow in place. Right? So that's all. We said that we wanted to be a research university, and rest of the things fell in place. A year and a half back, one of our alumni came back and is leading the innovation and entrepreneurship. Today we have 35 plus companies. Okay, and this is one of the largest in university environment. We have 2 or 3 companies that went out of the institute and they are being successful. We started, okay, let me tell you about one important thing. Suppose you want to win a Nobel Prize in sciences. Either you have to do a groundbreaking theory, or most of the time it is instrumentation, sensors, and building a thing and showing and computing something. For that I need electronics, for that I need instrumentation, I need computer science, I need machine learning, I need various other things. In a university I should be able to get my PhD students to build from the scratch. Right? That is another kind of thinking that I want. You see? So therefore, we are asking our computational natural science students to do electronics and build sensors, build systems, to do something in a very small way. At least they should know that they have to integrate different systems to do something important. Right? So So there are many opportunities to get engaged students to do various other things. And you have to build things. Your physics person, unless they are doing too much of theory and very radical new idea that this works very well, you won't get any new things.
One thing which has been very frequently quoted here is that the market forces are primarily students' motivation and orientation. Yes, partly it is true. From my experience of more than around 25 years of teaching, I have found something has to be brought about the selection process itself of these students at national level, that is the joint entrance exam and such other exams. Actually, I myself have gone through this examination in 1983. At that time, the testing was for 12 hours, 3 long papers, and unless one has understanding, true understanding of the subject, there was no chance of getting through. Somehow now the focus has shifted. So this shift in focus from testing the understanding to testing the information, cramming and quick learning. The students are.
So what we do is in the first semester they unlearn whatever they have learned. Right? They are given training. That is why I said meticulous. If their answers are not meticulous, penalize them. If they are not able to logically work out all the steps and do it, penalize them. Give them assignments, give them problem solving exercises, get the tutorials going, make them understand how to write and present long answers. Whatever the entrance examination could not do, we do it in the first semester, first year. And they are ready in their second or third year. Your life will become a lot more easier later.
Just after minute, I think some serious thought need to be given at that level also.
It should be, but that is not within our right. So that is there are people already thinking about it. But let them, they are going slow. But then we have our students, we have our dreams, we have our university. So we do whatever we want to take care of remedy that situation. That's all. That's why parents training, that's why human values, that's why student groups, that's why streams, all of it.
Yes, there is a very pressing question. Very pressing.
Done this exercise, the students are coming in the what time we should do this, all these things. So how are managing all these things?
The BTech projects.
Suggesting that a lot project and even in the third section, the sources.
Yeah.
So there is time to get busy from morning to
No. So therefore, that's where the curriculum design will come in, and they will say that you have this code race, then there are certain hours left in the per week for doing the project. There are faculty interaction times which are slotted in the timetable. There is a allowed day where they demo their project. They are also see what I do is for a course. I have 3 hours of lectures per a week. I have a tutorial. So now if I am doing a project, those 3 hours are free. I work on that. I have to work 11 hours on the project. I show that I have worked 11 hours on the project. I talk to the faculty member. I meet them. It's individual. You talk to the faculty member.
Okay, I think we close this. It's difficult to summarize, but I'll say a few words. I think the important point that has been made here is that student learning becomes deeper and more relevant when projects are introduced and it is learning to practice along with theory. The radical suggestion has been that introduce a project very early. I suppose there are several radical suggestions. So the student gets in touch with the department of the first semester. That is one. Introduce a project which may come in the third semester or fourth semester. Identify the skills that are needed for the student to be able to do the project. Concepts come at regular pace, they cannot always be speeded up, but skills can be speeded up or can be moved early. We introduce chain of students or introduce groups, and therefore the students from different years as well as UG and PG and PhD sort of work together in a group, and that would enthuse people and enthuse the students and also allow the faculty to take up larger problems and perhaps allow them to work on national problems or problems that can make an impact on society. The importance of peer learning, and I think component of the discipline together with science courses and humanities courses, but they should also learn something about the other disciplines because that promotes interdisciplinarity. So these are the ideas, and important idea that connects some of them is the idea of a stream and the idea of theme, and it would require the curriculum to have place for streams and then stream courses. So the projects and stream courses go together. So these are all the challenges which are there. The issue that came up later towards the end was about inspiration or motivation. What is the faculty motivation? What is the student motivation? What do we do to take care of the student motivation? And I think we underestimate our students. The student, and we therefore do not provide them an opportunity to see what they can achieve. So that would be one component. But a curriculum is catering to a large mass of students. So that is where careful design is needed, and it may allow for options. So those students who want to take up deep research, or want to get into research, may do one kind of thing. Those who do projects for practical use but may not always require deep research can do those kinds of things. And it is the faculty's job that becomes most critical here. That larger picture the faculty must have. And the faculty should be able to break up a larger problem into sub-parts, some of which are researching, some are deep research, some are practical implementation. And different students have different interests. So it is the faculty which breaks up that larger problem into parts, and then the students get engaged. There might also be some students who might say, I haven't made up my mind yet. So the curriculum should also enable such students to not become one of these, but then they do courses. So projects are not compulsory at all stages. Certainly BTech project is compulsory, and an early project which is hands-on is compulsory, but other things may be optional. And those who get interested, so the idea is you draw them in, make them interested, and those who are interested, enable them. So the last question which came, there was no time left to do projects. How did you manage things which was asked? It is because curriculum did not allow this. So curriculum has to allow all this, and those who do projects, they are earning academic credits, and there is a place for it, and this is optional. So certain things are optional, certain things are compulsory, and that is where the curriculum making is an art. It is difficult. But one thing, one mindset, if you want to move even to make it optional, one mindset we have to address, and that is to teach everything to our students through courses only. We have to get out of that mindset. The second mindset is teach everything I know to my students now. The student has his whole life. You have to enable basic things, allow them to experiment, do projects, or to take up some advanced courses, but not try to put everything into compulsory courses. And that is a major shift which will be for us here. because we are used to very rigid curriculum and small number of electives. Here we are shifting over to credit-based, choice-based system. It is not just by introducing credit, there is a choice-based system. You may have credit, but all are compulsory. It is not a choice-based credit system. The important thing is choice-based credit system. So, reducing your code, lean code, so teach things well and teach them, identify a leaner code, not fat code but lean code. The courses that are compulsory become lesser in number and electives then can be introduced. And all that exercise one has to go through. So the UG Curriculum Review Committee, in fact its first task is to prepare the approach paper and then come up with a skeleton structure. So approach paper and a skeleton structure, and once that is prepared, we can have a much wider discussion in the departments, and then that can go to Senate. Once that is there, once we agree on the approach, once we identify the skeleton elements that will go into the skeleton structure, after that, once we agree on that, then we go and make the detailed curriculum in all the departments. And that comes back to Senate and to the CRC, Curriculum Review Committee. So we have a task ahead of us. I would request the Curriculum Review Committee to move in preparing the approach paper quickly together with the skeleton curriculum structure, and that would allow different departments to understand what it means. I thank everybody for patiently listening and through this session of question answers, and we will figure out our ways of moving forward. Tripathi Hyderabad found its way of moving forward, but we will find a way of moving forward. It is not that we are muddling through and not doing anything. We will move forward, we will move together, identify what needs to be done. There will be scope for some diversity, of course. There will be scope for options, but we have to identify what we wish to do, and then we have to move forward. Thank you. Our convocation speaker is in town today, he is reaching today. So we are requesting him to give a talk tomorrow. He will come again for convocation. Dr. Rajendra Singh, who has worked extensively on water, and through his efforts, 7 rivers in Rajasthan were revived, in which there was no water for 10 years. Those rivers are flowing today, and this is all done by people with minimum amount of money. So we are trying to arrange this talk tomorrow morning. That announcement will come. Please come to the talk. We will also, of course, send it to students. Also, the talk will follow, and the talk is planned for tomorrow morning. Thank you.